Studios in sunny San Diego, California. On the air. It is on the air. What do you think about that? Wow. Tommy, myself, and the Sully Band. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is episode 89.
89.
89. And I'm looking forward to today's show because in the green room right now are 4 radio legends.
Yeah, really.
And they all influenced my career.
Let me see. I listened to one growing up. I worked with one. And I begged for a job from one over and over. And I'm really excited to interview these guys because it's a very special day. And it all kind of cohesive. And when you guys hear who it is that we're doing interviews with today, you're going to remember going all the way back into the early 70s, late 60s maybe?
Early 70s into the 80s and 90s. When I first started listening to radio, it was all about KGB and B100. B100 was everything.
Can I tell you, first of all, welcome to the Sully Band. Good to see you guys again. We are live at the Powerhouse Park Del Mar Concert Series. Summer concert series are back.
Yes.
And we are live, pardon me, Tuesday, next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday.
Got it.
What is the date on that? 28th at Powerhouse Park in Del Mar. I'd love to see you guys out there. Come up and take some pictures and shake hands with the band. And tonight, I'm a little nervous right now.
It's a big night for you.
It's kind of a big night for all of us here, including the KUSI audience, because you guys were an integral part of us, raising money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So tonight is the big reveal on how we did for Man of the Year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And
I think we're going to put up a big number. Okay, so we're still taking donations. So if you're watching, you can still donate. Just go to sullyband.com. Click on the donation link and write in KUSI because I think they win something. Mary will be up here in a little bit.
do you think you raised more than $1,000?
I did. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I put
Interesting.
I talked the band into putting in that much.
There you go.
Come on, so very excited. All right, let's.
We also have a mystery guest today, and Rebecca
the return
Jade.
of mystery guest and Rebecca Jade.
Rebecca
Come on.
Jade.
Let's go.
All right, let's bring out the guest.
Wait a second, Rebecca Jade, who is on the Billboard #2 charting. Let's Straighten It Out. She's on what? How many? You're on like 4, 5, 6 tracks of that thing. I can't wait.
I love Rebecca
My
Jade.
favorite. I do too. She's one of my favorite people. So. All right, let's giddy up.
All right, let's bring out the guest. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. He is radio royalty, Shotgun Tom Kelly.
Oh, I didn't tell you.
Love you.
All right.
You know, you're wearing Tommy's shorts in my t-shirt.
That's right. Well, I love you. I love the fabric that you selected on this.
You like that? Yeah.
Plus, I'm on the show, and I just wanted to be. I feel like I'm a
You're
part
a part.
of the
You
show.
are a part
Yes.
of the show.
I'm a member of the crew.
You've been on this show more than any other person that is not here every week.
I think so. Yeah.
You have. It's fantastic. I think you're in the eight-time club, 9-time, 10-time
No,
club.
I think it's more like 12.
12-time club.
And listen, I got to tell you, more people in San Diego come up to me, said, "Hey, I saw you on the Sully and Little Tommy show." That's what they call it.
See how he threw that? He caught himself.
What?
Did anybody see how he caught himself?
I didn't catch myself.
Because
What are
they
you
all
talking
come to me and
about?
say, "Hey, I saw you on the Tommy show all the
No,
time."
I said Sully and Tommy.
I know we saw you at it.
But every single guest that's going to be introduced next, they all looked up to this guy too.
Oh, who doesn't?
You know, I got to tell you something. I was just thinking about how I started these guys out. This guy right here,
Yeah.
I started Little Tommy out in his broadcast career, and just gave him a little spark, and boom, man.
Yeah, look at him.
Look where he is now.
No kidding. Yeah.
Top of the hill, man.
I don't know about that.
Yes,
but,
you
but
are.
I love you, Shotgun.
I love you too.
I asked Tommy yesterday. I said we were on the phone, and because more and more of you are coming up and saying hi. It's always great to see our folks that are fans of the band, fans of the show. I said, Tommy, have you ever been in your career as recognized as you are now? He goes, yeah. Sorry.
Just kidding. But let's bring out the other guest.
Let's do it.
He was born and raised at KFM BFM. One of the Rich brothers from the B Morning Zoo, Frank Anthony.
All right, Frankie.
See you, friend.
All right.
All right, baby.
You like that? Pretty tight, huh?
Beautiful.
Don't you wish you were playing that music?
I do.
You can play that music.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's sure good to have you here, Frank.
It's great to be
I
here.
mean-
Thanks for inviting me, Tommy.
When I was growing up, coming out of high school and just, loving radio, they had the Rich Brothers, the B Morning Zoo.
Your grandma loved us, right?
No, you were the best. I mean, it was so cool. You guys were like everything because nobody was doing that in San Diego. You guys were the first to do that. And you guys were on top for a very long time.
More people listen to us on the radio than on any other appliance.
But
Here we go.
What's interesting is you have more appliances now to listen on, don't you? With the Internet of Things, you could listen to me on your refrigerator at this point.
That's
It's true.
Good stuff.
One time around that era, I went to see the Temptations. I think it was somewhere in Del Mar. And you guys were right there. I guess you were going to introduce them. And it was so cool. You guys were all dressed in tuxedos, just hanging out, giggling, laughing. And you had the red tennis shoes.
That's right, the red
tennies. Yeah,
tennis.
I didn't
Yeah.
wear them today, but we used to do so many personal events. I mean, Bobby Rich, our founder, he was the zookeeper basically, and we were out. I mean, 2-3 times a week doing public appearances. So much so that by the end of the week, we were promoting him so much that we said, "Isn't it enough that we said we were going to be there? We actually have to show up."
And you were on the cover of San Diego Magazine.
Yes,
Yes,
you were.
we were. Yeah.
Is that B100 hat one of the original B100 hats?
It is not. We had a 40th anniversary celebration of B100 a few years back. I was invited, and so was Shotgun, and we got these hats as part of the.
I remember that logo on the bus
yeah.
on the bus stops
Famous.
and the buses themselves.
That's right.
And when I was a very young lad, I was very young.
You know what? I did the morning show before Frank
that.
did.
Yeah.
And it was
there it is.
there it is, the cover of San Diego Magazine
Yeah.
with the Rich Brothers.
Funny.
Why don't you tell us who those guys are besides you?
Well,
That's Shotgun
that's
Tom.
Shotgun.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, thanks.
The tallest guy there is Pat Gaffey. He was our news guy, and I'm in the middle. Bobby Rich is on the bottom, center, and Scott Kenyon is on the left.
No kidding. That's it. Now, what year was that?
That was 1986, I believe.
86. Wow.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
Yeah, that was good. That was the 80s. That was, 86. Let me think. It was post Yacht Rock, post New Wave, but it was sort of pre, kind of what we see now. And it was a
also-
real transition time at that
It's
point.
also pre-Jeff and Jer.
That's
But
right.
not by much.
Yeah, right. That's
Because I had the same feeling twice in my career. When I started out at KCBQ Radio, and I heard B100 go on the air in 1976, 75.
right.
Yep.
And I went, oh crap, that's gonna be tough to beat,
Yeah.
because I knew they were gonna be monster.
right.
And then I had the same feeling when Jeff and Jer came to town in 1988, right?
Yeah.
And they went on the air, and we had that same feeling. We're done.
But you weren't done, and you guys did a great job. Speaking of monsters, our next guest is a pretty big monster in broadcasting here in San Diego.
Well, long before KUSI's PPR, there was Gene Knight with Friday Night Cheerleaders in his studio. Longtime B100 radio personality, the greener Gene Knight.
Here we go.
There we go. Remember I said at the beginning of the program I used to listen to one, I used to work with one, and I begged for a job from one. But there was a time I went from talk radio to FM radio. Biggest mistake of my career. But went over to 103.7 The Planet. And were you the afternoons on 103.7 The Planet? Were you middays?
I was afternoons across the hall.
Kixie, that's right. Yeah. But and I got a chance to work with the legend I listened to all through high school.
Oh, yeah.
And so on and so forth. And he had that cool hair, that cool
Long
DJ
hair.
thing.
Long hair.
And now you're looking like on Wall Street.
You grew up.
Yeah.
You look great. How are you?
I'm good. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for letting me be at the
Come
table
on.
with these guys.
I mean-
I got to tell you why I Want You Back as my opening.
As you walk in? Yeah.
The reason is that that was the first song I ever played on KCBQ.
Wow.
And it was always a favorite of mine. It was always it's so well produced, and I'd say it's probably the best Jackson 5 song, their first big #1 song. But yeah, I figured it'd be
That
perfect to
was good.
start things off
Yeah.
here too.
You know, Gene and I were talking in the green room, and we all came up with one. A lot of people come up to us say, oh man, I used to listen to you all the time. And you've worked at a lot of radio stations, B100, you worked at Sunny, you worked at Kixie. They don't mention those. They always mention, I remember listening to you on KCBQ.
Yeah.
Same way with me.
And B100. Right. And B100.
Well, yeah, but more KCBQ.
I think the reason that they remember us from KCBQ is because that station was just so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that station was getting like, I don't know, there was one book we were there, had a 13 share. I looked back and saw when Rich Brother Robin was the PD. And it was just like the station was just so entrenched in the market that even if, I mean, people have asked me, you know, sometimes, was I on KGB? Because they just kind of get the call letters mixed up.
I thought you were on KGB.
I was never on KGB.
No kidding.
I would have loved to be on KGB. Shotgun was on KGB.
I was on
that's
KGB.
right.
But I got to tell you something. Gene and I used to hang out at 7th and Ash downtown. That was where the KCBQ downtown studios were. And that's where we first met as kids, along with Neil Ross and everybody who sat and watched those guys run that board. And Gene and I had the same dream. One of these days, I'd like to be able to run that audio console, because that picture window studio was so incredible.
Right.
They even had a mirror on top of the ceiling so you could see the disc
guy
jockey's
going.
hands.
You could watch the guy run the board.
Yeah.
That's a great idea for the bigger expanded Loft 100 studios. Let's put a camera.
There we go.
So
Get
you can see
yourself a mirror.
So you can see all the mistakes I make.
But you know what?
I'll go the whole time.
You know, Tom, it was even more of a big dream for me to go work there because I lived in Escondido when I was in high school.
Yep.
And KCBQ was like the loudest thing on the dial with the 50,000 watts. It
That's
had this
right.
huge signal in Escondido. And like I'm in high school and listening to it and everything, and like 6 years later I'm on it. It was just a dream come
isn't it?
true.
Is a dream
That's
for
how
all of us.
radio works.
You could hear it on your fillings.
Yeah, you know, you said appliances.
By the way, that's so true.
I got to tell you this story. This friend of mine who now lives in Georgia used to live in San Carlos. And she told me the other day, we Facebook messaged back and forth, that she could get KCBQ on her braces.
No kidding.
And she knew what song was playing. I said, and I said, only in the daytime, right? She says, yeah,
That's
never
when
at
you used to
night.
put a piece of tinfoil on your rabbit ears back then to get a better signal.
By the way, this last Saturday night, I did a fundraiser for Guardian Angels Catholic Church, and one of the ladies said, I used to listen to you on KCBQ. I said, really? Oh, how nice. And by the way, I live in Santee, and KCBQ used to come in on my telephone.
Yeah.
Because that's 50,000 watts. They had to control that signal. I mean, that was a big signal. If you remember those towers out there, 6 towers, but the signal was beamed right out to the Pacific Ocean.
That's exactly
right.
Good stuff.
And if you were in the Navy, you were listening to KCBQ.
That's exactly right. It was almost like pirate radio out there for these guys to pick that stuff up.
All right, our next guest. Across the hallway from B100 was 760 KFMB, where you would see this guy all the time. He's a legend as a producer. He's a legend as a board op. He's a legend as a radio personality and a program director. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Dave Sniff.
There we go.
Dave, you're the best.
Good to see you, buddy. How are you?
I love Dave Sniff.
I love that too. All right, so Dave and I were talking before the show. As I said before, this is the guy that wouldn't hire me. So no, I begged for a job for years from this guy. He said, just not any room for you. Who's this again? But he walks in today and he says when he is on his boat here in San Diego, he likes to. I guess you named your boat after this. Is this?
Absolutely, that's the name of my boat. Yeah.
Name of your boat. Okay, so the name of Dave's boat is Off the Air.
Oh,
So-
look at that.
I'll be wearing this nonstop. No, this is really great because I love the fact that you did that because it really does talk about how much time we spend in the studios.
Oh.
And finally, I'm not on the air right now. Don't ask me. Right? Good stuff. Great to have you, man.
Thank you, man. We had like Chainsaw, Rickards, Boyer, a bunch of guys I was working with when I bought the boat. We had to come up with a name for it, right? And so we had like 40 names that were just ridiculous. Anyway, we settled on Off the Air.
Good stuff. Off the Air is fantastic names. It's great to have you.
Thanks.
It's great. I think let's do a On the Air 101 today because I don't think we've ever had a program director. Okay. And I don't think people understand when we say, oh man, I had to meet with the PD today. It wasn't that PD. It was that PD.
Yeah, right.
And the one thing that he made you do, it's almost like, remember the first time you had a realistic tape recorder, folks? and you taped into it and you heard your own voice, how awkward and how bad you sounded? Well, when you sit down with Dave or Cliff Albert or Steve Cohen, he says, hey, let's go back and count how many ums you said in the first 5 minutes. Stuff like that.
Well, I was very fortunate that I had a lot of great talent to work with. And so it was very difficult to get, the non-greats into the building, Sully. And so eventually, they all kind of...
Oh, I know the story, Dave.
I know. But essentially, your role is to assemble a lineup that meets the target of what the sales department wants to reach, and you find something that sounds really consistent, and then you work with that talent to basically encourage them. I really did nothing but listen to. It's kind of like you're a psychologist. You sit there, they come into your office, and they tell you all their life stories, and they spill their life to you, and you listen to them and say, yeah, why don't you do that on the radio? Go and live your life on the radio. And let's see what happens.
And you had the golden touch because everything you touched was successful. I mean, honestly, and I know that you're a humble guy and you put it on the talent, and part of it is the talent. But you have to have a good leader. All of us will tell you, as much as we cringed when the program director went by, I wouldn't be who I am today without Cliff Albert. I can tell you right now, I give 100% to Cliff Albert and to Steve Cohen and some of the guys I listen to on the air. But it really is integral to someone's radio career is having a great program director. I think you guys will agree, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He was a nice program director.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some not so nice program directors.
Sure.
But Dave Sniff, you were very nice.
Yeah.
Very kind.
But he was also your board op, right?
Yes,
What?
he was.
You were an engineer also?
Oh, yeah. Well, first, can I tell you? Why don't you tell the story?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's save it. This is the art of the tease.
Oh, okay.
I was going to
Just a
talk
few
to you about
minutes,
that.
we're going to tell you who we saw naked in the parking lot and tell you how Dave Sniff could run a bar. On the air. Great to have you along today. Shotgun Tom Kelly.
Right here, baby.
Gene Knight. Dave Smith. And from the Rich Brothers, Brent, Anthony. Good to see you. And the Sully Band. Great to see you guys.
So I get a job at B100 in 1990. It was like February.
Should I bring you back to a gentler time?
Oh, yeah.
But it was so cool.
Here we go.
I get a job at B100 with Jeff and Jer, and we walk into the building for the very first time, and there's a little reception for us. And across the hall was Mac and Joe, Hudson and Bauer, celebrating 15 years. And I'll always remember, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, they've been on in San Diego for 15 years. And Dave, you were very much part of that show as well.
Oh, absolutely. There were some great morning shows. San Diego just has kind of this history of having great morning shows, and more so than any other market that you can imagine. But Charlie and Harrigan led off at KFMB, and they kind of set the standard for comedy morning shows in San Diego. And then Hudson and Bauer followed up when CNH went to Houston or someplace like that for more money. And then and Mac and Joe stayed there forever. But a big part of their show was when we brought Ted Leitner in 1978.
Oh, yeah.
And that gave Hudson and Bauer 20 more years of career, just having Ted on the show.
Yeah, right.
He was only on at 7:15 and 8:15 in the morning, but man, we had this big, huge baseball audience because we were the Padres station, and they would tune in for that 15-minute segment, and it was just radio magic every day. And that's really the longevity of H&B was centered around Leitner also.
You know what's interesting about Padre baseball, real quickly? Remember when the only way you could watch or listen to baseball was on your transistor radio?
Oh.
Okay? That was the only delivery device, unless you're at the game, for Padres.
And people would listen to the game and then leave their radio on and wake up with Hudson and Bauer the next morning.
Right, exactly.
And it wasn't a sports station. It was
No, it was
mass appeal.
It was like a good neighbor station. Like you leaned up against the fence, talked to your neighbor, and oh yeah, the game's coming on. Now these guys are my friends in the hand.
Yeah, and what's
which is
interesting,
what radio should be. Yeah.
I was talking to Mike Glickenhaus about this thing when he was carrying the Padres, and of course, Kogo Radio was the Padres station. We used to bump us off there, and Hedgecock used to come over at 11:30 when the Padres were on. But I thought what's interesting on a business standpoint is now that digital came out and it was available everywhere, it kind of, digital killed the radio stars as a result to Major League Baseball. It killed the revenue model for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and I can tell you what's interesting is that when I watch a baseball game now, I don't listen to it anymore like I used to listen to it. Some of the best stuff was, as you said, in the stands. Listen to the game while they were playing the game.
And you mentioned Kogo Radio because that's where the Padres were before they came to KFMB. And there was was a morning man there, Ernie Myers.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. And Ernie used to be #1 because they'd hear the Padre game on at night and just leave the radio on, like you say. And then Ernie Myers became #1. By the way, I was in junior achievement, and I used to watch Al Coupé and Al Schuss recreate the Padre games. Yeah, because they couldn't afford to send the announcers along with the team back in those days. When I met President Ronald Reagan, he says, "Well, you know, I used to recreate the broadcast. You probably don't remember that." I said, "Well, Mr. President, I actually do, because Al Schuss and Al Coupé." Now, Tommy Jorgensen used to run the board, and they used to have a suspended bat and a naugahyde. You know, they'd go, and there is the pitch. You know, that's the sound effect. Isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, now listen, before we went to break, I believe, Dave, you were about to tell a story on how we met.
Well, that was what the tease was, so yeah.
That was,
But we're at it.
We're delivering. We're delivering on the tease.
So I was a little radio rat, right? I got a transistor radio when I was 6 years old. My father had passed away. That was going to be his Christmas gift. My mom gave it to me. And I'd sit on the curb in front of my house in Poway and listen to the radio and listen to guys like Shotgun, et cetera, right? So that was always kind of a love of mine as I grew up. Now, I get a job at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor in Chula Vista, down by where Tommy grew up, right?
By the Jerry Lewis Theater.
Yep. And they said, "We're doing this thing, a muscular dystrophy thing, down in some parking lot by the Embarcadero. Anybody want to go and volunteer to scoop ice cream for Jerry's kids?" I go, "I'll do it." I did it because Shotgun was going to be there doing his fishbowl thing, right?
Right.
And so I go over to some lady with a clipboard that's like organizing things for Shotgun. I say, "Hey, you know what? If Shotgun needs somebody to talk to about, what we're doing over here, selling these ice cream cones for $1 and giving the money to Jerry's kids, I'm the one to talk to."
That's right.
So he puts me on the air and interviews me, right?
Right.
How old were you?
Oh, yeah.
I was 15.
Wow.
And so we're having this conversation, and Shotgun says, "And tell us what you're doing." I said, "Well, we're scooping ice cream, and it's a bucket thing, and all the proceeds go to," and I couldn't get muscular dystrophy out. And Shotgun says, "Jerry's kids."
That's right. I was going to say that. I was going to say that, yeah.
I have a question.
So I meet Shotgun,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, man, any chance I can come down and hang out at the radio station with you, right?" I said, "I keep calling Gene Knight, but he only has like these cheerleaders on."
He was big with the girls.
Right, exactly. And so Shotgun says, "Oh yeah, come down anytime." So that's how I come from the Shotgun Tom radio tree.
That's right. Well, so does Frank.
I got a question
Andy.
I got a question for all of you. Did any of you listen to each other during those times of getting into radio?
Well, I certainly listened to Shotgun.
Yeah.
As did I.
He was on KCBQ way before I got there, and he was also on KGB.
Yeah,
and we
okay.
had some mutual friends too. We had an engineer, Bill Lippis,
Lippis.
and another DJ named Jim Duncan.
Oh, yeah.
And they all kept talking about this Shotgun Tom guy, and finally I got to work with him.
Right.
It was pretty
And
awesome.
Dave, when you were telling that story, was that what your station was locked on? Was that the?
Oh, absolutely. Look at it. When Shotgun made the switch from KCBQ to B100, that was just huge news. When was it?
1976.
76.
Right.
Uncle Fred.
Here's how big
Yes.
news it was. I went back, I don't know, like sometime in the 90s to talk to an assembly at Valhalla High School. That school launched in 1975, and they had these murals all around the building at Valhalla High School. The 1975 murals got a B100 logo painted. It's like the centerpiece of the whole freaking thing.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
big the station was when
yeah.
when Shotgun came over. Yeah.
When did you graduate from Valhalla High School?
I didn't go to Valhalla. No, I just went there to speak. I graduated from Christian. I went to 4 different high schools here in San Diego: Poway, Coronado, Hilltop, and then graduated at
Wow, Hilltop.
Hey, when I came over from KCBQ to go to B100 to do the morning show, they put out all these billboards, man. These billboards with my face on it. It was a spectacular.
Oh, I
billboard.
remember.
And my hat would stick out the top. And I remember a friend of ours. I was climbing in the billboard. He wanted me to stand next to my big fat face. And
There it is there.
And I know.
That's it.
Oh,
There it
man.
is. That's the billboard.
I was frightened to death. I couldn't get my foot up on that ledge. So I looked down and I go, "Oh!" And I just got out. I couldn't do it.
Shotgun, you were talking about how great a PD that Dave Sniff is.
Oh, yeah.
There are others that aren't so good, that are kind of jerks.
I think I mentioned that.
Matter of fact, when you left B100, it was shortly about the same time that Gene left KCBQ to go to B100. And I remember when both of you left, the guy that was PD at our station who let you guys walk away, he had a little heat lamp in the studio that at the end of the summer, whoever had, it was the hotline. Whenever the hotline would ring, this heat lamp would go off until I'd give you a sunburn. So at the end of the summer, whoever had the worst tan got fired. True story.
In a minute, I want to hear how all of you guys got your start in the building, because a lot of times it's the guy. I tell people that want to get into radio, just get in the building somehow, and you're going to end up on the air at some point, because somebody won't show up, and you will end up being there, which is how I got on Kogo. I was doing afternoons on 11:30. Roger got sick, and I was the only guy standing around. Honestly.
And we have a mystery guest coming up, and you guys are going to play.
Oh, we have a mystery guest. The return of the
looky here.
Love it. All right, kids. On the air's on the air. We got Shotgun Tom. We got Frank Anthony. We got Gene Knight, Dave Smith, and of course, Rebecca Jade is coming up.
Shotgun Tom doesn't win awards because he's subtle. Here's a look at the man behind the noise in the fourth part of our series, Look Who's Talking. Kathy Clark reports.
B100 FM, but here Shotgun, getting your pants on it. Your beeper's open this morning. 8:36. How about a blast? That's my blast. Here's a baby blast. All right, as we get you.
It is his on-air signature. Shotgun Tom Kelly has been blasting that way almost since the beginning of his radio career. His first job at 17 at KPRI was the fulfillment of a dream that started with a bus ride down to 7th and Ash.
I could take the bus downtown, stand on 7th and Ash, look up at those guys and go, wow, one of these days, I'm going to do that. You know, or it's just fascinated on how they ran the control board.
But the boy Tom Irwin is now 30-year-old Shotgun Tom, one of the highest-paid radio morning men in town on B100. He's worked at just about every San Diego rocker at one time or another. He claims he's still excited about what he does.
I like to have a good time, first of all. I think we're here to have a good time, right? And so, you know, why not, why be bummed out? Sure, there are negatives that come into your life, you know, you have to deal with them, but, you know, you don't have to linger on them.
Shotgun Tom, come on. Dave Sniff, Gene Knight, Frank Anthony, Sully Band. Of course, me and Tommy, welcome to the program.
And by the way, I wonder if you saw Dave Sniff running my board as little Tommy used to run my board when he first started out in broadcast.
Oh, I saw his outfit from the Brick Shirt House.
Is that where you got that?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
All right, we're going to play a fun little radio game.
I'm ready.
Okay. On the phone, on Zoom, but we're only going to hear the audio, is a mystery guest.
Okay.
You guys are going to play a game. Okay. You guys are going to ask the mystery guest a yes or no question, and then hopefully you'll figure out who it is.
Oh,
all right?
All right.
The mystery guest will disguise his or her voice.
Okay.
Mr. Director Jared Coleman, can you bring up the mystery guest volume, please?
That would be Emmy Award winning.
Yes.
All right, Shotgun Tom Kelly, you go first. Ask the mystery guest a yes or no question. But first of all, hello, mystery guest.
Hello.
All right. Yes or no question, Shotgun.
Okay, mystery guest, have we worked together?
Yes.
Oh, we have.
Gene Knight, the greener. Yes or no question?
Okay. Mystery guest, were you ever on B100?
Yes.
Frank Anthony, ask the mystery guest a question.
Mystery guest, did you ever program B100?
I had a lot of help from all the staff members, but sort of, yes, in a way.
Dave Sniff, ask the mystery guest a yes or no question.
Did I fire you?
No.
Oh, there we go.
I let you in the building when you were underage.
The mystery guest. Let's bring up the mystery guest video.
Never underestimate an old man. And here he is.
Hey!
It is!
Oh,
It is!
Oh, there he is!
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the architect of the Rich Brothers, Bobby Rich.
Yes.
B100.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, how about
Look
the
at-
architect of B100
That's
radio
right, the
station?
architect of B100. He brought me over from KCBQ.
Hey, first of all, thank you very much for doing this. And, you know, from a kid that grew up listening to you in San Diego, I just wanted to say thank you for all that you brought to radio and to San Diego. Thank you.
Tommy, you are a lovely person, and I'm getting sick and tired of hearing people tell me that. Because,
Yeah, me too, buddy.
look, man, all that does is make me feel that much older. Mr. Rich, I grew up listening to you on the radio.
I started listening to Bobby when he was on KFMB. He came down from KHJ, right, Bobby? And
Yes.
and was working on our AM station, doing a nighttime show. He did the
Turkey
turkey
Hour.
hour.
Oh, the turkey hour.
And
What a
it was
great
so
bit.
much fun to listen to this guy. Just, you know, if you were in the radio, you listen to Bobby doing that show. And then, of course, his project that he's working on in the background was B100. And here's the two words I'll always remember that they taught us. They said, hey, what's the instruction manual here at B100? It was have fun.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what
Sound
Bobby,
like
that's Bobby. He said have
That's
fun.
right.
That is
That's right.
fantastic.
It was terrific.
Hey, Bobby,
Have
what do
fun
you?
and sound like it.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounded. Of course, it sounded like it. What are you doing these days? How do you?
Oh, I know what he's doing.
I am getting older, but still on the radio in Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
I'm a part owner of a
There
radio
we go.
station called The Drive Tucson. And I do the morning show and do all the programming, and I made up the format and all the usual stuff that I've been doing for 55 years or so.
That's fantastic.
And the show and the radio station is doing phenomenal. It really is.
That's great.
Tony Pepper is.
Tony Pepper.
Yeah, there we go again.
Wow.
Tony
That's
Pepper.
a name from the past.
He does a lot of his image work there. You know?
I got a
I
question.
have a lot of hangover work with Tony Pepper from the past.
Hey, Mr. Rich, I have a question. So you're
Yeah.
at B100 and you say, okay, I need to do a morning show. How do you find the three other guys? How did that come about when you found the three other guys to work with you?
Tommy, true story. First of all, there's a gentleman no longer with us that all of us who worked at KFMB and B100 will never forget in a positive way, and that's Paul Palmer.
Yes.
He was our general manager, and he made everything behind those who were supposedly making things happen. So when I wanted to come back, because I had been away from the station originally and gone to New York and a couple of other places, and I decided I wanted to return to San Diego, so I went to Paul and I said, why don't I just come back to work for you? And he said, well, yeah, that would probably be an okay idea. I mean, we still like you and everything. And I said, well, I have this concept. I have a concept that I call Hot AC, which is kind of like a combination of top 40 and adult contemporary music.
Wow.
Kind of like a top 40 for adults. And he said, well, what do you have in mind for it? And I said, well, I don't know much yet, but I've been planning it out for a couple of years. And I said, I want to be part of the morning show. And he said, well, how many others would you have? And I said, oh, 1 or 2 or 5. And that combined with the fact that we said at the end of a great conversation together that day, Paul said, well, let's continue talking a little bit in specifics. And I said, well, if you're worried about the money, I'd be glad to do this for $30,000 a year. Wow. And he said, and I quote, I think we can do better than that.
Wow. Oh, how about that?
Wow. That's good stuff.
There's the story.
Well, unbelievable that we have all these legends, and then we have the mystery guest. But well done. I thought for sure that you were going to Gary Kelly. Because Gary Kelly was supposed to be on with us. All right. Fantastic stuff. All right, much more to come. On the air is on the air. There you go. On the air is on the air. Well, look, this is a good opportunity for us to have a bunch of guys that used to spin the vinyl. And by the way, have you seen the purple vinyl? Let me just show you the purple vinyl.
Wow.
I wish you guys were still on the air. Because regardless who this is,
Oh, look at that.
is that the coolest record around?
That is.
Yeah.
So listen, we have a very special guest coming up here in just a second. Of course, Lady Rebecca Jade, of course, has been on stage with some of the biggest stars in the world, including Sir Elton John at the Oscars. Tours with Sheila E. I can't remember who she toured with last time, but we're going to find out. She's also setting a music award, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Person of the Year. Afro of the Year.
And she was a great basketball player.
She was.
Yes.
And she's on about 7 tracks here on our album that came out last month. But before we get to her, Mary Bird Godwin, our den mother here at On the Air, has a few things to say. And here she comes. Wow, fantastic. Yeah. You know, many of you don't know that every guest on the program gets to pick their walk-on music. Did you pick on that?
You bet I did.
Wow,
you
that's
see my karaoke song?
Is that
Proud
your
Mary?
Is that
Back
your
in the
karaoke?
day, I haven't done karaoke in a minute,
gosh.
but
All right.
yeah.
What do we got going?
So I'm here to talk about the big day for Sully is
Yeah.
tonight, the auction for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Man of the Year.
Yeah. Fingers
KUSI
crossed.
viewers have been donating like crazy, and you still have a few more hours. 2 o'clock is what time that
2 o'clock it ends tonight. You got 2 more hours.
You can donate online, but the auction goes till 8. Can I talk about the auction?
A little over
items
2
really
hours.
fast?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. Come on.
Wonderfront Festival package, 2 VIP tickets to Wonderfront Festival in November, and car service, so you can, have a good time and get home safely. Day at the races. Hey, 4 tickets to the Turf Club, lunch and dinner at Monarch Del Mar, also car service.
Thank you, Joe Harper, and thank you, Drew Vitt.
Thank you, Joe Harper. Yes, he donated. A stay at the Fairmont Grand.
Come
You guys
on.
sitting on that.
Have you been to the Grand?
Restaurant, dinner, and golf.
Nice.
Shotgun's gonna bet on that one.
Here's shotgun golfing.
And that's me. Yeah.
4. Oh, wait.
Maybe you won't be bidding on that one. We also have family fun pack of tickets for families, Legoland tickets, Children's Museum, Midway.
All in one package.
All in one package. And the last one is the music package. Okay, we had a baby Taylor guitar donated.
Right.
Ooh, Tommy helped us hook that up.
Thank you, Bob Taylor.
Bob
Taylor.
Bob's a great.
We've got 4 tickets to any show at the Belly Up within the next year. You can go for free.
Right.
Oh, you mean I can see Debbie Gibson?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
She just doesn't want to see you.
And tickets to any Sully Band show, VIP tickets, backstage pass to any Sully Band show.
Sound check party. We're going to give away 2 of those.
All the shows.
Right?
Yeah, 2 of those. Yep.
Right.
And a signed copy of your album
There you
artwork.
go.
Signed
Yeah.
by Scrojo, who's the artist.
Oh, really? And
Yep.
and Dave Sniff and Frank Anthony and
Yeah, we're going to sign, all y'all are going to sign it.
All right, very good.
And a day of spa and golf at RBI.
Well, let's not forget we're adding a VIP experience here on the Air. And for anyone who has a business or something to promote, you could be a guest on the program and hang out with us and rub elbows with some of the stuff. All right, so there you go. So it's not too late. And what happens if they go to the donate link? If you go to sullyband.com and donate, and you hit the donate link, if they put KUSI in, what happens? Is there something that happens?
You get to be a VIP guest here at a taping of On the Air. Sit
There we
up
go.
in the club, have lunch with all of us,
Very good.
rub elbows with James.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks, Tom.
Mary.
All
Hey,
right.
I got recognized, by the way.
Big night tonight.
At Belly Up, I got recognized from being on here.
Did you
On the
really?
show. I did.
What did I tell you?
Lots of viewers.
Sniff finally gets to be recognized on the street after all these years.
Yes.
Put on those moving on jeans. Get out there. Let's go.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm so proud of Dave Sniff. I'm so proud of you, Frank. You used to watch me on the air at KCBQ.
I did, yeah.
And I'm so proud of you, Tommy. I mean, these guys, I gave them a spark, and man, they went.
You gave us all a spark. You continue
Well,
to give us a spark.
You know, I
What
love.
about Gene Knight?
Well, to hear Gene Knight and I, when we were we loved towers. Isn't that right, Gene?
Yeah.
We the KCBQ towers in San
Yeah,
Diego,
sure.
which are not there anymore. By the way, I do have a 6-foot piece of tower number 6 in my backyard. I call it yard art.
Complete with light, right?
Complete with a light.
What do you call the car in your front yard?
I don't know, man. It's
Is that yard art
driveway.
also?
But anyway, we built a KCBQ monument.
Wow.
With all the jocks and news guys' names. It's right in front of In-N-Out Burger in Santee. Our good mayor at that time, Randy Vopel, was influential of getting the property, and it's still there today. Frank Anthony's name is on there.
it is.
My name is on there. A lot of jocks.
Isn't that the only monument in the nation?
It is
After
for a radio station. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
And
And
now,
he spearheaded it. Thank you, Shotgun.
yeah. Well, with about 7 or other guys. You were on that committee too,
Yeah.
I believe.
Fantastic.
Gene Knight's name's there.
Gene Knight is on there.
There it
you
is.
know,
There's a picture.
and it's just an incredible monument. And when they start putting your name
Tommy
on
Sarmiento.
Tommy Sarmiento's on there. Happy Hair's on there.
Yep.
Gary Kelly.
Gary Kelly is on there, who I wish he was
Charlie
here.
and Harrigan are on.
But that used to be the Ranch House of Radio.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
KCBQ. you
Sure.
know.
And now it's an In-N-Out burger.
And now it's an In-N-Out burger and a Lowe's. But anyway, that was we just couldn't, when they imploded those towers, we just couldn't have it go away. So that's why we did the monument.
I got to tell you what I did when that Lowe's opened up that you just mentioned out there in St. T where the towers were. I had an event with the radio station I was on, and so I had a big crowd up there, and I started talking. I said, I used to work here. And they look around like, what? What are you talking about? And then somebody said, I know, KCBQ.
Yeah.
Hey, let's introduce our next guest.
All right. In my opinion, she is the best singer in San Diego County, Rebecca Jade.
Here we go.
All right. Oh, she is. Oh, yeah, baby. May I say, you better believe it, Rebecca.
Well, all right now.
These guys would have played you. They would have played you.
Yeah.
If you were in that era, they would have played you on the air. That would have been.
She's got a marvelous voice.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations again this year.
Thank
at
you.
the San Diego Music Awards.
Thank you so
And who did you just get off tour with?
I've been touring lately with a saxophone player named Eric Darius.
Okay,
actually.
right on.
And that's been amazing, really, really great.
You had a Sheila E.
life has
thing
been
for a
great.
long time?
Yeah, I was touring with Sheila E. for about 4 or 5 years, and this is the first year I'm kind of branching out into my own lane,
great
and I'm
voice.
excited. Thank you very much.
And I'll always remember when you were on the Academy Awards, everyone was so excited. I'm at home waiting for you.
Yeah.
They say, okay, coming up next, Elton John. And then I knew you were going to be singing background. I just watch, and it's dark, and all of a sudden I see your silhouette.
Yeah.
I go, there she is.
And the
There she
camera was
is.
on you the whole time.
It was. I
Like
was so
you
surprised.
have 80% of the freaking camera time.
I know.
It
That was
so
pretty
good.
cool. I'm not
Yeah,
mad.
good stuff.
So what's that?
And where can we see you? Are you performing around town anywhere? Or
I
can
am.
we
Well,
find you?
I want to promote the fact that I'm doing my album release party on Friday, July 22nd at
Right on.
Sequan Casino in their Live and Up Close showroom. We have the first single that I put out, which is the award-winning song,
Yes.
San Diego Music Award-winning song. So I'm going to be
You
doing.
kicked butt at the San Diego Music Awards.
You totally
Thank
did.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was so good.
So that's the only one that's out, but it did win Best Music Video, so folks can check that out and like it.
I'll
you
tell you.
sing?
I will tell you the reason for the success on this album is because of you. It was. I'm not kidding. Like I get more comments on who's that girl singing on that album, and why isn't her picture on the front of the album?
By the way, on the way over here, I was listening to that album.
Yeah, that's her. That's
great.
her.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that,
Good
baby.
stuff.
Well, look,
All right.
everybody.
Rebecca Jade coming up. We're on the air, on the way.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Rebecca Jade close our show out today with her song. But so Gene, if we could ever talk you to getting back on the radio, would you come back on the air full time ever?
Oh, absolutely. I
Would
just
you really?
love it.
Yeah.
I just love being on the air.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd love to hear. You know, I always said, Burger Prescott, Gene Knight, everyone who was iconic in prior days could totally hold up these days.
Hey, can I tell you a little story? I met Jason Sheff, who took Peter Cetera's place in Chicago.
And his dad was a bass player for Elvis.
That's right. And you know what? One of his favorite jobs, he said he loved me, but one of his first jocks that he loved most, even better than me, was Gene Knight.
That's exactly right, Gino.
You remember that?
Do you remember when we went to see him, he had broke his leg or something, and we went to see him in the hospital?
You did.
Wow.
I didn't. He remembers that. He told me that.
Kidding.
I always hear it was both of us. But
Really? Well, he really, really appreciates you.
But nobody talked up a record better than you guys. I mean, I can still hear Gene Knight and Gary Kelly
Gene
talk
was
up
incredible.
records.
Yeah.
You guys were the best.
Postmaster Generals. the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, I learned that skill from you working out.
And I learned it from listening to Bobby Ocean.
Interesting.
On KGB.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bobby.
He was the best at it.
I never did radio with music in it ever before until I got over to that building. That's so crazy. What about you? Would you ever consider
absolutely
dipping your toe?
Yeah,
What about those 4:30 a.m. wake-ups, the whole deal?
That was the fun part because you got off early. I mean, that's when I got home. My wife had a really good job, which allowed me to stay in radio, by the way.
Yeah.
Because she,
Row.
Exactly. But no, I'd love to get back at it, but there's just fewer opportunities out there with consolidation.
I will tell you, I think terrestrial radio is still going to be here forever, but I also think digital radio, what they're calling podcasts, which now encompasses video and audio. I think that's, we give so much content for people. I think it's tough getting, breaking through that. But I think it's, I think that actually is going to be something, and I think there's an opportunity there.
Podcasts are big. They really are.
Radio's bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dave?
Well, first of all, I can't believe this is a television show.
Yeah.
Because there's so much fun going on. This guy must be the best salesman in the history of broadcast.
Yeah, he is.
Go to whoever
Tommy,
you went to and said,
me?
hey, I got an idea for a TV show. We'll get a bunch of guys that used to be on the radio and just let them talk for a while.
Mike McKinnon Jr.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Mike.
Thank you for having us.
The secret sauce there was we said, if we get these really popular morning shows and bring them in on the air, they're going to put it out to their audience, and they're going to put out their social media, and we're going to get really popular. And so I'm not sure if that happened or not.
I had a quick story about Shotgun and why he is so successful, and Frank and Gene and everybody really in the San Diego radio community, because they're really authentic people. Yeah. Shotgun was working with Tommy over at K-Best.
That's right.
And they were doing Jukebox Saturday Night.
That's exactly.
And then format changed.
Yep.
K-Best no longer. They went to Y95. Today's hits, yesterday's favorites. Shotgun was out of a gig.
Yep.
He comes over to me at KFMB and says, hey, oh man, I kind of need a gig.
Did I say blippity blippity?
And I said, yeah, what do you got? Well, we were a baseball station. We weren't really playing a lot of music at the time, but I said, how about if we put Shotgun Tom's Jukebox on after the baseball games on Sunday night?
That's right.
Brilliant.
That's right.
Brilliant.
Big audience.
Brought him over. We ended up doing they built a studio at the Corvette Diner. He
That's
did the
right.
show from the Corvette
David
Diner,
Cohn,
all that sort of
Leslie
stuff.
Cohn.
Well, when we were naming the show, it was Jukebox Saturday Night over at K-Best, and I said, how about Shotgun Tom's Jukebox? He said, oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but better believe it, baby.
You better believe it, baby. Suck it to me.
I said to Shotgun, man, that'd be pretty cool to have a jukebox, right? All right, Shotgun, we do the show for 2 or 3 years, whatever it was. Shotgun gets the big gig up at K-Earth, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And he shows up one day at my house with a truck and a trailer. On the back of the trailer
That's right.
is this Seaberg R100 jukebox.
Wow.
This
I was so
beautiful classic jukebox, the one that's in the opening to Happy Days and all that sort of
That's
stuff,
right.
That one?
And he
That's
says, hey, Sniff, this is Shotgun Tom's jukebox, and now it's your jukebox.
I did. I bought
You're
it.
the only one that believed in me.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good. It's true. I love that.
I like to pay back.
You do, man. That's good stuff. Well, it's been such a pleasure to have you guys on. I want you
believe
guys
in
to
Shotgun.
promise. I want you to promise all you guys are coming back here on the air.
I didn't buy you a jukebox.
What did you say when you talked over me, Mr. Radio Man?
I believed in Shotgun. I didn't get anything.
Yeah, but he didn't believe in you. That was the difference.
I'm just kidding. That's the best story, Dave.
That is a good one.
Well, you guys all come back on the air with us at some point. I'd love to have
Absolutely.
you back. It's fantastic. And
don't forget to listen to my show on Sirius XM.
Which one is that? Which one is that?
Channel 73. I'm on from 60s Gold from 4 in the afternoon until 9 Pacific, 7 at... Well, you don't have to worry about it.
But thank
I think
you,
it's still
Shotgun.
important that you say it, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, our favorite musical artist here in the studio, as always, Lady Rebecca Jade.
All right.
This is a song to encourage folks. You ever having a tough time to fight through for yourself? I know sometimes it's hard to recognize your power when all the world seems to be bringing you down. You want to hide behind the comforts of a lie to ease the pain of not believing you deserve the crown.